is parallel to 5x plus y equals 4. All right, so first thing here is that parallel lines have the same slope.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe another definition. So you have to be able to determine the slope of this line, which means you probably need to solve for y.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you know how to do that, or do you need some help with that?
No, I got it.
Okay,
All right.
tell me what you have. Y equals,
5x plus, equal 4.
okay, but you're to
Oh,
move the
negative
5x,
5x minus 4.
yeah, you are subtracting it from both sides, but that 4 is still positive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now what is the slope of this line? What's the number in front of x?
It's 5, negative 5.
Okay, so we are done with this. Like, we don't need this anymore. We got the slope. That's what we wanted. And we know that it goes through the point -1 comma 4. All right. Now notice it doesn't specify the equation of the line. So do you remember any equations of the line?
Um, no.
All right. So there is y equals mx plus b. Do you remember what that one's called?
Yeah, it's the slope form.
Slope-intercept form. Okay. That's not the best one here because we don't have that information. The next one, which probably is the right one here, is called point slope form.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
This is the best one to use because you've got a point and you've got a slope. Now, the question is though, is what does your teacher want? Right? Like what do they want? And I don't know. Only you know the answer to that. You know in class which one you've been using, or if you've been using both, or
We haven't been using um, either of those.
I sure you've got to have been using one or the other. You're definitely not using standard form. So which one do you want us to use? Because it doesn't matter to
Uh,
me, but which one do you think you're going to use?
Definitely y equals mx plus b.
Okay. So we're going to use y equals mx plus b, which means we're going to write the equation with the slope. So it's minus 5x plus b. And the next thing to do is to take this point and put it in for x and y. Right? So that's x and that's y. So 4 equals -5 times -1 plus b. Could you solve that for b for us, please?
Okay, it's 4 equals 5 plus b.
Okay, very good. And what does b equal?
-1.
Yes, b is -1. So once you get that, you put it back into this equation right here, and you get y equals minus 5x minus 1. That is your final answer.
Plus 1 or minus 1? I heard you say plus.
It is -1. It's the b value.
Okay.
It's plus b, but when b is negative, you replace it with that.
Okay, got it.
All right. So now we can move on to number 12. It's very similar, but there is, the important difference. This time it's perpendicular. But what's the same is that you have to start with this equation right here, and you have to solve it for y. Okay, so I'm going to do that for you here because
I want you to
there,
figure out.
All right, so the
1
first thing
second.
is to,
Are you in tutoring?
Yes. I probably asked you to feed the dogs. Sorry about that. Mike came in. Don't turn on my Mike. Turn on my light. Sorry about that.
let me know when you're okay to start again.
No, I'm ready. I got it.
All right, so we've got positive 4x, so we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. It's best to put that in there. Minus 2y equals minus 4x plus 12. Again, it's best to put that number in front. I know maybe that looks a little weird, you know, it is important. Then you divide everything by the number that's in front. So in this case, you get y equals 2x minus 6.
Okay,
Any questions on that or?
I got it.
Okay. What is the slope?
Slope is
What is the number in front of x?
hold on. It's y minus 11
No.
equals.
No. I don't know what you're doing, but we just got to get the slope. Like the whole point of solving this for equation for y is to get the slope. What is
I
the
did.
slope of this line?
Oh, it's negative 1/2,
Well,
or
okay.
negative 1/2.
The perpendicular slope is negative 1/2. Yes. Did you already do this problem?
We did a bit in
Okay.
class. Wrote a
Okay.
few notes on the side.
All right. That's great. So the perpendicular slope is negative 1/2, and you have this point negative 6, 11. All right. Now, which equation of a line are you going to use? This y equals mx plus b or the point slope form?
I guess for this problem, I'll use the y minus y1
Okay, that's
equals.
great. Okay, so before we get to that though, is it clear why this is the perpendicular slope? Or do you have questions on that?
No, I got it.
Okay. All right, so here, like you said, here you go. So this is x1 and this is y1. Y minus 11 equals negative 1/2 x minus a minus 6. You do simplify the double negatives, which means you get y minus 11 equals minus 1/2 x plus 6.
Okay, I got it. So y minus
All right,
11
yep. This is your
equals.
final answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is nothing more to do. That is it.
Okay.
All right, so let's did you try 13 yet, or is that something you'd like us to do together here?
We haven't done 13 yet.
Okay. So let's just look at the diagram first, just to see what we've got here. So this rectangular thing is a plane. There's a line going through it, and then there's a line that's on it, and then there's kind of this point over here.
Okay.
All right, so now we can answer some of the questions, all the questions. This really goes back to some of the definitions here. So the first one here, it says, use the diagram to answer the following. You have another name for line L. So you can see that lines can be a single cursive letter, or they can be 2 points.
Okay.
All right, so what 2 points do you want to use?
Uh, U and W.
Okay, so it's UW, but you have to then put a line above it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it could also be UV. That would also be okay. Or VW. That would also be okay. All right, let's look at part B. All right, what does it mean if something is non-collinear?
Not calling me. Yeah, it means it's
Yeah,
on the same side, on the same line.
yes. So then non-collinear means not on the same line.
Mm-hmm. That would be the O, point O.
Point oh is great. Yeah, perfect. All right, and then the next thing here is the intersection of NV and plane P.
So that would also be UW.
Well, NV is this line vertical. So does it intersect at those other points with the plane, or does it intersect at this single point right here?
Intersects at the V.
Single point V, yeah.
Is that it?
That's it. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay. This is a pretty common test question. Like you're probably going to see something like this on your test, so don't be surprised by that. Okay, before we get to part A, let me see if you guys covered it. Nope. So to answer 14, there's a bunch of theorems that you need to know or postulates. There's alternate interior angles,
Mhm.
alternate exterior angles. I think we covered this in one of the worksheets. Corresponding
Mhm.
angles, same side, interior, which is probably the same as that. There's a bunch of these. Okay, there's vertical angles. Um, they don't show up on page one. So my concern would be that you don't maybe have all of the um, so do you know these? Do you want definitions for these? Do you want to just
No,
not
I
worry
know
about
them.
it? Okay. All right. Well, let's look at this picture for 14. You've got it up on yours there. And then let's grab part A and look at part A. All right. So we're looking at angles 1 and angles 8. Angle 1 and angle 8. And these if you add them together, what do they add up to?
Um, 180.
180. Yeah. So these are considered on the same side of the transversal, but
Mm-hmm.
they're exterior.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. So that's what they're looking for, I guess. All right. So let's grab the picture again. And let's look at part B, which says which theorem proves that angle 2 is congruent to angle 6. That is one of the ones I mentioned in that list above there.
They're corresponding.
They are corresponding, yeah. Okay. Though, yeah, one more of these. Part C. All right, so measure of angle 3. So there's 3 and there's 5. Which theorem says that those are congruent?
They're congruent. They're
Yeah,
what's it called? Alternate interior.
yes. Alternate interior angles, they are congruent. So you're setting these equations equal to one another.
Mm-hmm. So you subtract the 3x, by
Yep,
yeah, you
exactly.
subtract 3x by 5. I mean, you subtract 5 by 3x and you subtract 3x by 3x. Then you do
Okay,
the same thing. You add 7 and
good,
add 7 to 11.
good. All right,
That
very
gets
good,
you 2x equals 18. Then
good,
you divide those both by 2, and then you get
great. And this one just wants X. It doesn't want the angle measure, but you should be prepared to put that back in. Should they ask for it?
9. Yeah.
You never know. All right. 15. And if you ever want more problems like the one we're doing, just let me know. Happy to come up with
Okay, I should let you know right now. My teacher said we didn't have to fill in the what's it called? The graphs. We don't have to fill them in. We just have to do the problems.
you mean you don't need to do these?
No, we have to do the problems, but we don't have to fill in the graphs. We don't have to like put in the points and stuff.
Okay, that's fine. So
That's what she said.
we'll make X and Y here. So this is A, minus 1, 1, 4 minus 1, 2, 4. And then let's do the new points here. So I like to do these by subtracting 3. Like I like to do them all together, like minus 1 minus 3, 4 minus 3, and 2 minus 3.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So a prime is -4 and 6. B prime is 1 and 4.
Good.
And then C prime is just -1 and 9.
Great. All right. So you said you don't have to do those. You don't have to
Yeah, we don't
graph
have
them.
to put
So
in the points.
yeah, so you're basically done here. Let's have you do the next one on your own.
Okay.
Let me grab these points here. Yeah, so why don't you try this one on your own? Let me know what you come up with.
Okay, so A prime is -5 and -1. B prime is 0 and -3. and C prime is -2 and 2.
Good, really good. All right. So for 16, the best way to do the problems where you're going backwards is to actually to label the points, like label A, label B, and label C, and then do the same thing for the corresponding points D, E, and F, and see if you can detect a pattern. All right, so for example, A has the ordered pair 2, comma 3, and it goes point D is 4, comma -3. And so it's like, well, what's the rule, or like what's going on here to do that? B is 3, comma 5. E is 5, comma -1. C is 6, comma 1. And F is 8, comma -5. So maybe you can look at this and come up with a rule, something that works for all of them.
Okay, so my rule is um, x plus 2 and y -6.
All right. And did you check that for all of them? Does it work for every single one?
Yes.
It does. And the nice thing here is you actually can almost see it like on the graph if you were to go and like, all right, I go right 2, down 6, right 2, down 6, right 2, and down 6 like that. So you can also sort of do it in words. All right. So are you guys going to get some time in class to work on this, or is this all outside of class?
We're gonna get some time.
Okay. And when is your exam?
I don't know. Probably tomorrow's block day.
Okay. Ooh. Well, if that's the case, do you have some time to finish this between now and then? If not, we'll have to work on this next time.
Yeah, I have some time.
Excellent.